Welcome to the Chicagoland Guide. I'm your host, Aaron Masliansky. Today, I am sitting in Hyde Park in Chicago, meeting with Cate Slighton. We're going to be talking about the 57th Street Art Fair and Hyde Park, and just talk about the history of it, the history of Hyde Park, and everything good that's going on here. Cate, thank you so much for having me.
Well, we'll see how it goes.
It'll be a test at the end.
Uh-oh.
No. This is such a beautiful neighborhood. Grew up on the north side in Skokie. I've lived my whole life up there, but there is such a treasure down in Hyde Park, right here where we are. And I've had the opportunity to come by here to learn about it, to go to the museum, science industry, and whatnot. Grateful to the University of Chicago. What a great institution there too. There is so much here. And how long have you lived here for?
We moved here in 2000, going on 26 years. And yeah, there's a surprising amount of green space here.
Oh, yeah.
We're right next to Jackson Park. We're right by the lake. We take walks regularly through Jackson Park. There's the Wooded Isle, which is in itself a remnant of the 1893 World's Columbian Exposition, which people around here always just refer to as the fair or the expo. Although we are the fair now.
Right, exactly.
And we've been that way for 79 years. So
no, you took it over. You took over the name.
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit about the fair. It's been going on for 79 years. And
yes.
How did it start?
Well, I guess just to preface that answer, I have to give you a little bit of background in terms of Hyde Park itself. Hyde Park has an artist community for many years, several artist communities, actually, different satellites. There was an artist colony in the old concession stands on 57th Street on the east side of the tracks, the train tracks, the metro line, that, people discovered, oh, it's cheap. It's not heated, but it's cheap. And they're tiny, but it's cheap. So there was a whole, it's often referred to as a bohemian group that lived there and were quite active. And it's a really fascinating chapter of Hyde Park history. At any rate, there was a satellite community. There were several different art areas. And one of them down the road, closer to here, on 57th Street, where the fair started. So Mary Louise Womer, in 1948, lived in the little grouping that was basically at the intersection of 57th and Dorchester. There was a big push for urban renewal in the 50s and 60s here. So a lot of streetscape has changed, but artist colony that was the old concession stands was one of the casualties of the urban renewal, for example. Mary Louise Womer was an interesting character. She was a silversmith, and she and her husband moved up to Hyde Park from Kansas City, Missouri, I believe. And she took what was then a very inexpensive spot in a building called Goff House, which is a little artist community, and had a little space that she called the Little Gallery. And she had a little stove and a little burner, and she would boil some water and make pots of tea. And it became a gathering place for a lot of artists. And she was really big into promoting young artists in particular. Mm-hmm. And in interviews, she describes how she had this idea that she wanted to have a bigger show than just exhibit and sell their work in her little gallery. At the time, there were really no galleries, other than the Art Institute and maybe one or two in the city of Chicago. So this was really a big thing. And
so
they were around,
the
generations of them. And they did some outdoor exhibits for their own people, and they had improv, and they had stagings and poetry readings and the like. But Mary Louise Womer wanted to have an exhibit of the artists that she represented in her little gallery, and also as a way of bringing together the other artist groups in the area and in the city itself. And so, as the story goes, she sat down and she wrote about 100 letters to people that she knew in the arts community throughout the city of Chicago and connected with the Art Institute, and invited them to come show their work. And about half of them responded and showed up. The first fair actually was in October, not in June. It switched to June for the second fair. It's been June ever since. But so the first fair, I think it was 50 cents to exhibit. And people just showed up. And she and her husband strung some wires for people to hang their work, just like clotheslines, saying, very basic. And these 51 artists showed up and they had a fair. And then after the fair, they all went to have various after fair parties, and she and her husband were left to clean up the mess.
Oh, God.
And she almost said never again. But of course, she did.
She made all that money out of 50 cents from all the people.
Well, always been, that is one thing that we have been very true to, is her original concept of this is a fair for the artists. We don't take any profit or sales.
Yeah.
They take, all the city takes a sales tax, but we facilitate the fair. We do it for the artists. We put it on every year, and we charge a booth fee, which is more than 50 cents.
But still, I'm sure not a ton.
But we're not for profit. We just try to break even.
Right.
It's a party that we host here in Hyde Park. We invite this community of artists into our community, and it's magical, actually. I walk in on Saturday morning when they're starting to set up.
Yeah.
And from Friday afternoon, where everything is just the way it always is, to Saturday morning, it's like there's this whole place, this community that's up on the streets. And it's like the mushroom has just like suddenly appeared. And there are people who have been with us for years, and they're newcomers. And even before people are set up, the people in the neighborhood are walking the streets to look and see who's there. And
there's a vibe.
It's definitely a vibe. And it's people walking their dogs and people with families and strolling around. And they'll be back come back after the art fair opens. But even before the art fair opens, there are people already on the streets.
They're excited.
Yeah, it's very exciting. A feeling of anticipation and excitement for the whole event.
Yeah.
Music provided by Buddy Guy's Legends, mostly in the middle of the day, but throughout the day during the fair. We have some food trucks, and we have a kids area, and so there's a party vibe.
Yeah.
I mean, it's the low-key party vibe. It's not like amplified house music or anything.
Oh, you got blues going, right?
It's blues. I think this year it's almost all blues. There's one jazz group.
Well, it's like classic Chicago. It makes the place, the arts, the music, and that's why people get excited, right?
Yeah, and the other thing is that we're a group of volunteers. We all live in the community. This is nothing paid, and the admission's always free. And that was one thing that Mary Louise Wilmer was very adamant about. She said, why should we charge people to walk on the streets that they own?
Yeah, it makes sense.
We have never had admission. It's always been volunteer run. We're all, people from the community putting it all together. I mean, people come from all over.
Yeah.
And people who have grown up in the area and left will often come back. Have grew up here as kids going to the fair. Probably moving into 3 generations at this point.
Yeah. I was talking to my friend Henry, who grew up in Hyde Park, and I asked him, I'm like, have you ever gone to the fair? He's like, oh yeah, just every year of my entire life.
Once or twice.
Yeah, once or twice.
Yeah.
It's a staple of Hyde Park. It's June 6th and 7th this year.
Right. It's always the first full weekend. 57th Street. Mm-hmm. We still are within the original footprint. We are 57th Street between Dorchester and Kimbrough, between 57th and 56th. which is in front of the race school. Race school has had a big part in the fair over the years. For a long time, the fair, after the fair outgrew the area, golf house, and golf house was, torn down. The race school parking lot, or playground rather, was used as the location for the fair. And that's at the intersection of Kimbark and 57th Street.
Yeah.
So we don't, there's no building. We do still wrap around the school, and we use their cafeteria as our headquarters during the fair. And we use their parking lot and their softball field. And we have had a very nice working relationship with them in the past. Although their PTA used to play a big role in the food court, things kind of fell apart during the pandemic.
Yeah, pandemic, a big shift.
It was a really tough pivot. We started off the planning year, with every intention of having a fair. And then it became quite apparent that just wasn't going to happen. And so we had to pivot to do an online version, and wound up doing it again the second year of pandemic. And we actually maintained the online version.
How long have you been involved with this?
Almost the whole time I've been here. We moved here in 2000, and I had my kids were all in school over at the lab school, and my youngest had a friend whose mom was on the committee, and she asked if I was interested, and I said, yeah, sure. I had been doing ceramics for about 20 years before that, and we moved here, and I didn't have my studio set ready to work, and still kind of getting used to the area. So it was a nice way to get involved in the community and in the art fair.
Sure.
I've been doing this since 2001, 2002.
I think that's an important point. People part of communities but aren't really integrated. Put yourself out there and be part of the organization, and the art fair is a great way to do that.
Garden, and I link into a lot of people just when I'm out in my garden, because there's a lot of foot traffic, and I meet the neighbors, and I feel very rooted, both physically with my garden and just in the community at this point. But I've been here 26 years, so
yeah.
And with kids are a good,
Kids are a great way to meet
I was listed in her phone as Jeff's mom.
I have a background in urban planning, and I help people with housing, right? And it's important to understand the fabric, the history of how things are. I mean, how has the art fair, do you think, played into the community and keeping Hyde Park thriving, even with things that had happened with urban renewal that may have shifted the landscape?
Well, that's a good question. As far as Hyde Park goes, it was farmland out here.
Right.
There are still a few houses that are old farmhouses. I know somebody who's on Dorchester, which is several blocks in now from the lake, who in her deed, I believe it still says, because she told me this, that she had granted in her legal that she had access to the lakefront for watering her cows.
Wow.
This is a pre-fire house, so the Chicago fire.
Was it the O'Leary house?
Well, there's some controversy on that one.
Right.
The O'Leary barn, yeah. But this is I think her home was built in before 1870 maybe, or 1870-ish.
Okay.
Quite a number of houses were built before then. Not a lot of them are left. Rosalie Villa was one of the first actual, I don't know what you'd call it, housing developments on Harper Street. It was was put together by a man named Paul Cornell, who had this vision. And, this was in the days, this was about 1850. This was when it got hot in the city, and this was He got the train line extended, and the idea was that these would be homes that, families could settle in. The banker husbands could, work and then come down for the weekends. And that's a very interesting street. You should learn more about that as a real estate person.
Tell me, what is it again?
Harper Avenue.
Harper Avenue. Okay.
Yeah, Harper between 57th and 59th. It's called the Halloween Block. If you've ever heard of the Halloween Block in Hyde Park.
No.
Oh,
I mean, I
another
have like a whole world
institution
to learn here. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you got homework to do.
I have a lot of homework to do. So you're talking about Harper Avenue, and that was like that was the start of Hyde Park, where it was almost like a bedroom community for the city of Chicago.
Well, it was the first planned development. There were houses here. There were estates here. I mean, there were other people here.
Right.
It's just that I think that was the first place that there was a conscious effort to build a set of homes. And then, of course, once the World's Columbian Exposition happened, things really exploded. And a lot of the homes in the area, like, for example, this townhome was built around turn of the century after the World's Fair. So there was an explosion in real estate development after the fair. But there were homes here before then.
Was the university built after the fair?
The university existed before the fair.
Okay. And what made people, what's the history of that? Like, how did they decide to come here and start the university in this area?
Okay, well, you have heard the term Windy City?
Yes.
All right.
And it's not about the weather.
Not about the weather. No. The reason it's called Windy City is that Chicago and St. Louis were in competition to host this World's Columbian Exposition in 1893. And there was so much hot air from all the boosters, Chicago boosters, that the press, and I'm pretty sure it was the St. Louis press,
I would think so.
Decided that, yep, that's the Windy City because there's just so much hot air.
They did us a favor.
Yeah, I don't know. It's not that windy. I mean, it is actually windy when you get. I'm always surprised, or I used to always be surprised how windy it gets when you walk towards the lake, and that's only about half a mile from where we're sitting.
Right. Yeah. So so all those different types of things happen. I mean, it's interesting to just see the development of it. And I mean, Hyde Park continues to have just stretched influence. President Obama, lived here. And I mean, has he still come back here to this
No,
area?
not very much. His house is actually in Kenwood.
Yeah.
But he has roots. He has roots he taught at the University of Chicago. He was our local state representative. Actually, is a U.S. senator? I don't know. I forget. That's terrible.
Well, I think he was for a short period of time. The representative here.
And then he ran for president. And the Obama Center is actually opening 2 weeks after the fair. Grand opening is Juneteenth, hosting a huge party. What
do you think of the building?
I think time will tell. I think they've done a lot of really great plantings that are not mature that will soften everything. But right now it's kind of sitting there by itself. There will be more development, I'm sure.
Oh, yeah.
There's a big hotel planned for basically not quite across the street, but it's a very large complex, and it connects in with the lagoon area that was which is part of Jackson Park, which is where the World's Columbian Exposition was located in 1893. So it all intertwines. And the Museum of Science and Industry actually was not in its current incarnation, but that it was the Fine Arts Palace that became the Art Institute from the World's Fair.
Mm-hmm.
But it was, a more permanent version because all the other buildings were, they call it massed. It's plaster and sawdust or something.
Right. That was their way to do it cheaply and
Yeah,
quickly.
quickly. Yeah, yeah. And it was here, and then it was gone. But Hyde Park existed before then. The university had been founded several years before then. Obviously, has grown a lot since then. And Hyde Park has transformed over the years in various waves. And you mentioned, or we were talking about urban renewal in the 1950s and 60s. There was concern that the university was basically concerned that people don't want to live here anymore because, things are getting kind of run down. This is post-war. A lot of homes, this home had been converted into a rooming house, and then subsequently as part of that renewal, was reconverted back into a single-family home, like many of the others in the area. And a lot of the homes were just basically condemned and torn down. Some of the apartments that you see across the street from here were built after those homes were torn down. There's a great painting by one of the early artists from the art fair called The Doors. It's Gertrude Abercrombie, who's having a big retrospect. Well, she's been long gone, but it's a big retrospective of her work in the Milwaukee Museum right now. I have not had a chance to go see, but she did a painting called The Doors, and apparently when everything was being torn down, all these gorgeous solid hardwood doors were taken out, and they used them to create a temporary barrier behind the empty lots. And so The Doors, this painting that she had done, is a kind of a record of that time. So a lot of stuff was torn down. Goff House was torn down. The artist colony, the old concession stands were torn down. New construction went up. We had our Hyde Park Shopping Center and Kimbark Shopping Center were constructed. And, the art fair survived all that and, kept on going without pausing throughout all of that.
Do you think that the art fair is the thing that connects the history of Hyde Park and the vibe, or as we talked about, throughout all these different changes that have happened over the years and what will continue to be, and I'm sure what will happen around the Obama Center?
I think it's a thread.
Yeah.
Obviously, I think it's an important thread.
Of course. I would hope so.
But yeah, I think that there are the Hyde Park Garden Fair, for example, is another kind of homegrown local institution that happens every year. That it started as sort of an antidote to all of the new construction. It's like, well, let's let people buy some plants and put them in their gardens and make it pretty again.
Yeah. That helps
which
unify
helps,
everything.
Yeah. And the university has been a constant. It's a lot of the community, a lot of the people that live in the community are connected one way or another with the university.
Mm-hmm.
Not everybody, but
Did you come here for the university?
Yep.
Okay.
And many of my neighbors are connected with the university and have been connected with the university. That brought them here and kept them here, and that does form part of the character of the community. I don't know if you've walked around at all, but we have a lot of bookstores.
Mm-hmm. It's very intellectual. Yeah.
And the artists tell me that one of the things they like about coming to our fair is that they really like the people that come to the fair. And part of that is just that's our community. That's who Hyde Park's a little kooky.
Well, that's kooky is interesting. It's not boring. How many people would you say come to the fair every year?
The number that gets put out there is about 20,000 over the weekend.
Yeah.
I don't know how that figure was reached, and I do know that especially locals will come more than once. So if they're getting double counted, I don't know if that or not, But and people come, Old Town Art Fair is the weekend after.
There's a lot of the same artists that go back and forth.
Some of the artists, well, all of the artists, almost all the artists do what's called the circuit or a circuit. They, the cycle of the rhythm of their life is based around making work in advance. You have to make what you think is going to sell, but also what makes you happy.
Sure.
And you have to make enough of it. And then you get out there and you go from fair to fair. Now, when our art fair with the 57th Street Art Fair started, it was one of the first fairs in the country. But now there are year-round fairs all over the country. So many of our artists will have already done fairs. They will be doing more fairs. Some of them come to our fair and then they go to Old Town the following week. Some of them go up to Milwaukee. There's a lakefront fair up by the museum there. There's Wells Street. There are lots and lots and lots of fairs now. But we were the first one in Chicago anyway.
No, that's definitely something to have some pride for. To keep it going for 79 years through everything, I mean, that's not easy.
No.
Like, what goes behind the scenes in the fair? What are you working on typically to make this happen?
Oh,
How long are you working? Is it like a couple months before you start working on it? Or is
no,
it
no,
like the day
no. It's
after?
almost all year.
Yeah.
August is quiet.
Get a little bit of a break.
July is a little bit quiet. No, it's a cycle that we meet monthly starting in September. We try to do a kind of a postmortem,
Lessons learned.
meeting after the fair, but that usually doesn't happen until July because everybody's so burnt out by the time the fair's over.
Yeah.
But no, it's pretty much a year-round thing, and that work depends on what stage of things. But there's a lot of planning. It looks magical, but it's a lot of work.
Oh, for sure. What are some of the things that you're like excited about this year? I assume every year there's a little something new, right?
Well, one of the things I'm excited about this year is that we always do a newcomer awards. And this year, and people don't always accept our invitation when we invite them because they have multiple various reasons why they,
Sure.
It doesn't fit into their plans, or they have another show that they're committed to that weekend. If you're planning a circuit, you want to have it. You don't want to do a lot of zigzagging around the country. You want to kind of make something logical. So, at any rate, sometimes we get one of our artists, our newcomer artists. This year, we awarded 4 newcomer awards winners.
Oh, wow.
And they're all coming.
Oh, that's awesome.
Which is great. It's so exciting. It's always really cool to see work that we've only seen in slides in person and meet the people who make it. Because that's another part of the show is that it's all original art made by the people who are there showing the art.
Yeah.
So you get a chance to talk to the people and ask them questions about their work and their process and just whatever question you happen to have.
I think that's such a great way to learn. I mean, have you seen people, especially young people, come to the art fair and then it inspires them for a lifetime of art?
I hope so. There's an interview on that. There's a person in the clip on our website that is a jeweler who grew up coming to the fair and got inspired and became a longtime exhibitor.
Yeah.
At the fair. I do notice a lot of new people, a lot of young people are going back. There was this sort of arts and crafts movement. There've been a lot of arts and crafts type movements historically, and it was a big resurgence in the 60s. And a lot of those people are kind of aging out of the system, but there's a whole new crop of artists that are coming in that are, from the same sort of, I want to make something with my hands.
Mm-hmm.
I want to do art and make a living at it. And that's really encouraging to see. And they're bringing in a whole new vibe of, or aesthetic, which is exciting. So a lot of people who've only been with us for a few years are, it's nice to see them grow and come and hopefully make a lot of sales, because, they're coming back. They must be making some sales.
Hopefully they're not starving, but still be artists.
Yeah.
Well, I think, you look at what's going on in the world, you talk about like artificial intelligence and things like that, and like, what are people going to do? And one of the things, a common theme that I keep hearing is like the resurgence of the humanities.
Yep.
And I think, people appreciate when people make artwork and express themselves through music and art and the like. So I think these types of fairs are very important for the future of humanity and, society.
Yeah, I think that's a good point. I agree with that. And I think that that's where a lot of the artists are coming from too. I think that it's one of the first arts and crafts movement was an anti-industrialization in the industrialization era, William Morris and the like, where it was just, we could do something besides factory produced, and back to crafts, let's do tradition. We've had, printmaking was a very small category for a long time, and now we've got a lot of printmakers, which is very nice. And I think that's part of the kind of hands-on. I want to do something that I can do that is original and that a computer isn't doing.
It's tactile.
Yeah.
I think that's so important, to be able to see and touch and feel and make what was physically there.
Yeah, and you can touch a lot of the stuff at the art fair. I did ceramics for a long time, and I always like to pick up a pot and look underneath it.
Why? What do you find underneath
there?
Oh,
because, how did they do the foot? How was it sitting? How is it sitting? I want to look at the glaze. I want to touch it. I want to pick it up and feel how heavy it is. I want to use my fingers to feel how thick or thin the walls are. I want to look at the glaze. I want to see it. I want to experience it.
Right.
And you can do that, and textiles, people have these great textiles, and a lot of it's wearable, try it on. I don't think that the painters really want you to touch the painting.
No, I don't think so.
But they do want you to come up right and close and look at it, look at it from the side, look at the texture. Because, a photograph of a painting, as nice as it can be, is not the painting itself.
No, you're missing something.
You're missing a lot. So, there's that. There's just different ways of experiencing the art, and also being able to talk to the artists, talk to the creators,
right,
who were right there. And, you get in conversation with them. And then if you come back year after year, you come back and say hi to your friends.
Right. That's, I think, one of the key points. Do you ever exhibit your work, your ceramics?
I have not for many years. The only art fair I have done actually is the Ann Arbor Art Fair decades ago, when I was a member of the Ann Arbor Potters Guild.
It's a beautiful town.
It's a beautiful town. It's a huge, huge set of fairs now. And I think it was only 2 or 3 fairs, not 4 fairs, when we lived in Ann Arbor. But yeah, I have not worked in my studio. Actually, I killed my hands.
Oh.
So, yeah.
Well, what a great way to be able to continue to make the art happen by leading this 57th Street Fair.
Yeah, facilitating everybody else's. And then again, this is
huge.
This is Mary Louise Womer's spirit still with us. It's like, here, let's give these people a chance to, show their art, sell it.
Yeah. No, she lives on.
Yeah, she does.
Absolutely. So the fair is going to be June 6th and 7th, very soon. And I know the website is 57thstreetfair.com, so you can have all the information there about when it is. But tell us, if you're trying to plan for the day, when should you get there? Should you come both days, one day? What's the best ideas?
Well, it depends what works for you.
Sure.
Come back more than once. We have the fair opens at 11 on Saturday, runs till 6. Sometimes the artists stay open longer. We don't tell them they have to shut up their tents. And then it's 10 to 5 on Sunday. Music tends to start around 10-ish and run until about 3. We got kids' activities that'll run about the same time the music's running. Oh, yeah, we have some cool activities planned for kids.
Yeah, what are those?
Well, we have, in partnership with the Hyde Park Neighborhood Club, they're doing a big activity based on our poster, which this year is a shot from the point, the promontory point. And I believe the theme is, what does the point mean to you? What do you like to do at the point? Addressed to kids, not to adults.
Right.
And then the Ancient Cultures Museum at the university approached us and wanted to know if they could have a table. And so they're bringing some artifacts, some activities, in addition to the activities that one of our members has been working on for the last couple of years.
Just hearing about all these different things and everything that's going on here in Hyde Park, it almost makes me want to take a staycation here for a couple days and just explore this area. I'm in Evanston a lot. I think there's a lot of similarities with the university towns and whatnot, but it has its own distinct character here for sure. And there's so much I feel like that people can really appreciate and learn and enjoy in Hyde Park.
Yeah, there's a lot of, there are not as many, not a lot of places to go out to. I mean, there are some. Keeps us happy. I mean, there's enough for around here. It's very walkable. We don't have a car. We walk everywhere. There's great places to walk, just right in the neighborhood. The Cherry Blossom Festival's become a really big thing.
When is that?
Well, when the cherry blossoms bloom.
Whatever that is, yeah.
Well, it's April-ish.
Okay.
They, believe it's the park, Department of Parks and Rec has done the planting, but they put in a few hundred trees around the lagoon behind the Science Museum, and they keep putting more and more and more. I don't know how many hundreds there are now, but they have planted different varieties that bloom at different times, so that there's always a sequence. So it's not all one variety blooming at the same time, but and some years we don't have blossoms, and some years we have a ton of blossoms. Some years we have a quick bloom gone, and some years we've had just goes on forever, which is great. Last year was just on and on and on. It was great.
I think it helps you appreciate, the years that there aren't as many, and then the years that there are when you have it, right?
Yeah, but then we were so spoiled by last year that this year was disappointing.
Yeah, that's the only down point.
No, I mean it was still great this year, but more
Yeah.
they're touting it more as a destination to come, and which means it gets real crowded.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure.
When it's okay if you're local, you can walk, and you can go there during, times when other people aren't here. But
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I think it's a privilege to live down here. There's so much to do. Well, this is great. I think the fair is going to be amazing. Again, it's 57th Street artfair.com for more information. But thank you so much for taking the time to share everything with me, the history, and there's so much more that we could even get to. But yeah, go ahead.
No apologies for being so rambly here, but yeah, there's a lot. If you're interested in learning more about art fairs, there's a great book that one of our former artists wrote called Clotheslines to Canopies. It's about the history of art fairs. It's just a little volume.
And I'll link it to that in the show notes as well.
Yeah. And then, there's Hyde Park is we like it. It's pleasant. It's a nice place to live. It's nice. It was nice to raise kids here.
I'm sure. Well, this is wonderful. Thank you so much. And thank you all for listening.
All right.